Good morning. All right. It is, well, it might not be morning while you're watching this, but it is here. It's actually the Friday before the beginning of the semester. And my name is Brad Ulrich. I'm a professor of art and design at Mid-Michigan College, where I've been working for about 15 years now. And before the class really begins, uh, this online version of Art 211 Page Layout 1, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the technology and the interface and what will be required to successfully complete this course. Okay, now if you have found this announcement, I'm guessing you probably have found Moodle. Okay, now Moodle is the general way that you will get, or well, actually the main way you're going to get all the information for this class. It's an online course, so it's our main mode of delivery for announcements, assignments, uh, instructional videos, all that stuff. Okay, so yeah, Moodle's the big thing. Okay, that you're going to need to get familiar with. The next big thing is Adobe InDesign. Okay, which I'll talk about in just a second. All right, now going back to the Moodle page. Now the basic setup is pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Moodle's pretty intuitive and easy to use. I'm not really a techie guy, but I picked it up in no time once it was introduced as a component at Mid. Okay, so a component of our overall academia schematic, if you want to call it that. So when you go to the page for Art 211, W01, okay, 2019 WI 59077, page layout 1. And if you're enrolled in this class, it'll be there. You click on it, boom, take you right here. You're going to find the page has 3 columns going across, okay? On your left is navigation, okay? And that will take you to wherever you need to go. There are also, I need to put that in yet, there is a block with contact info, which also going to be found down the syllabus with my office hours and my phone number and my email and stuff like that. Okay. In the center column, that's where you'll find a bunch of blocks. The first is a general block with announcements and tech stuff, which I'll go over in just a second, and the rest are week by week breakdowns of what we'll be covering in the coming semester. In there are reading assignments, design project assignments, spots where you will upload work, all of that. And then on your right, that's where you'll find the mid RMS. For me, it's course settings and upcoming events. For you, it would probably be the grade book. I'm pretty sure that's where it shows up when I go into the student mode. Okay, so explore Moodle. Check out what all these things are, and get comfortable with it. It's a good thing. Okay. All right. Now going back to stuff that we should talk about on the Moodle page. In the central column of the first block, which is just labeled general, you'll find a link. Okay, this link is to technology requirements for online courses. This will take you to a mid page where it talks about your Wi-Fi speed and just really kind of IT oriented stuff. But you'll want to check that out and make sure that you have what you need to take an online course. Okay. Next is a copy of the syllabus. Of course, the syllabus has all the information that you absolutely need to know for the class. Again, there's contact info there, office phone, where my physical office is. This, by the way, is not my physical office. This is my studio, my home studio. See, drawing board, comics, art stuff. Yeah, my my office at Mid doesn't look anything like this. But also my office hours on campus and like that. You might notice that I don't have any office hours on Thursdays. and that is because that's what I'm going to be getting down to brass tacks with the online courses that I'm teaching this semester. Okay. All right. Let's see. Also on the syllabus is the required text and materials. The textbook is the InDesign, Adobe InDesign Classroom in a Book, which it's a pretty good instructional tool. Generally speaking, I find Classroom in a Book a little bit tedious sometimes, but it does teach you, a lot about the program, stuff that you will need to know. Okay, so be sure to pick up this. Available in the bookstore. And also a required thing is Adobe InDesign. This class is all the projects we're going to be doing is in Adobe InDesign. Okay, so I should also point out, because of that you have access to Adobe InDesign in the graphic design labs on both campuses. In Mount Pleasant, it's room 320 on the 3rd floor. In Harrison, it was in 165, but with the construction going on, I believe that's going to be changing for this coming semester. So I will get back to you guys in regards to what room that is going to be, because I haven't gotten the email yet. I don't really know. There's a lot of things going on there that it changes almost daily. Okay, so yeah, that's the syllabus. Like I said, read that over. Make sure that you take a look at how the grading is going to work and all of that, and the total points, and all that techie stuff. Okay, not techie stuff, but stuff that we have to have on our syllabi to for clarity's sake. Okay, now next in that same column is an Adobe InDesign installation guide. And what that is, that's a link that will take you to Adobe's InDesign page. That's where you can download Adobe InDesign. It's not cheap. I'm going to be honest; it's really not. But if you Google it, I know there is a student rate that is available for the lease. This program isn't something that you just download once. You download it and you lease it like on a monthly basis. That's the way all Adobe programs are now. It's not a one-time thing. It's kind of like leasing a car. Okay. So they'll walk you through not only how to download it, but also how to install it on your computer. And there's also links there for little help guides and stuff like that if you run into any technical difficulties. All right. Next on that page, in that block, the Moodle page, is a rubric. Okay, a rubric and time estimates for Art 211 page layout 1 assignments. Okay. Read this over carefully. Okay, this rubric is a general rubric that applies to all the assignments we're going to be doing in this course. Okay, it'll give you an idea of the kind of thing that I'm looking for from you as beginning designers. Okay, so look at that very carefully, read it over, and let me know if you have any questions. Also on there is a time estimate. It's a breakdown roughly of how much time per week you should be spending on work for this class. It's broken down into basically, doing the reading assignments and following along in InDesign, because that's what you do with Classroom in a Book. It's a hands-on thing. Doing that, and then doing the review questions, because there are review questions. I'll mention those in just a moment. But also, and then a breakdown of how much time you should be spending on the projects. We're going to have 3 or 4 larger projects in this class. They're primarily going to be dealing with advertising and, well, like the thing says, page layout. In our case, they're going to be multi-page documents with text and photos, designing those, creating flowing uh, text, placement photos, all that kind of stuff. We'll get into that later though. Okay. Oh, and then the last thing on the general block in the central column of the Moodle page is actually a really good article from the American Institute of Graphic Artists, which I'm a member of. It is an article on how to give and receive a good design critique, because you will be required to critique each other's work, to review and critique each other's work. So what will happen is, if you scroll down a little further on the page, you will see spots in the weekly little blocks here where it says a weekly project progress forum. Post your work here, and that's where you post what you've done so far on a certain project. Okay. And I will review it, and you, after you post your work, and you can comment on it on your own work too, you'll be required to look at fellow students' work and comment on that. What you want to do, and this is not to, don't think of it as a punishment or anything like that. Think of it as an opportunity to look at each other's work and develop a rapport, develop a dialogue with your fellow students. Being an online course, that's kind of hard to do sometimes. But you can look at each other's work, give each other's tips, or even if it's just a hail and hearty, yeah, good job. That can be a really important thing. Also, I know this from when I took online courses. Sometimes you'll see somebody that does something that's really cool, and you're like, oh wow, that's awesome. How'd you do that? And not that you want to like steal their work, of course not, but you might be able to learn something that you can in turn make your own. Okay, some technique or some little special effect that you weren't aware that InDesign could do, something like that. Okay, so that's the general postings. Now, as I said earlier, there are review questions of the week derived from the textbook. So what you'll need to do is answer these 5 questions. Okay, now InDesign Classroom in a Book is set up so that you will basically, when you read over a chapter, it's going to have you follow along and work on different little design projects using InDesign. They're all designed to teach you different things that InDesign does. Okay. Now, at the end of every chapter, there are also some questions. Now, here's the thing, though. I don't want you to think for a moment that the questions in the book are the same as the ones online. They are not. Okay. If you notice in the book, the answers are all right there. Well, what good is that going to do me as an instructor? Okay, so make sure that you don't even have to pay attention to these unless you want to read those over and learn something additional. No, the review questions of the week are all based on the various chapters, but they are different questions. And the review questions, there's only 5 of them. True or false and multiple choice. It's only 5 of them. And it's, 5 points. But be sure you do it. Be sure you do them, though. Okay? Because those points add up. Boy, do they. I had a student just this past semester. He contacted me in a panic, absolute panic, because he had forgotten to do the review questions of the week. And he wasn't going to pass the class. And without passing the class, he wasn't going to graduate. Okay, so I had to, me being a nice guy, I had to open the deadline up to the end of the semester so he could just do those as quickly as he could. He had like less than a week to try and wrap those up. Must have been a nightmare. So don't forget to do the review questions of the week. Very important. You know, those points all add up. Okay, let's see. I think that covers about everything. I will probably post another video pretty soon here. There is a in the first week where we have our forum where you usually would post your work for the week. This coming week, the first week of classes, it's just a introduce yourself thing. Now you don't have to post a video, okay? I personally, this is actually the third or fourth try I've done on this one because, well, once I had my Jack Russell Terrier go nuts and start barking, and another time, oh, I don't know, just things going haywire. So you don't have to do the video. I'm terrible at it, but if I can do it, just about anybody can. If you want to just post some artwork that you've done or just a little something about yourself, cool. All right. I look forward to reviewing those and getting to know you guys. Okay? All right, let's have a good semester then. I will talk to you later.